Hello and welcome back to New Hampshire's #1 sports podcast, where one of the hosts once walked under a 55, maybe older year-old weeping willow tree in the middle of an ice storm and got hit on the back by a falling branch. It is the Never Words podcast. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined as always by my brother, Tim. And do you want to speak to why you were walking under that willow tree?
Well, it was the craziest ice storm either of us had ever seen.
Ice storm of '08. They're still talking about it.
It's funny, Dad. When we went to walk down the street, Dad said you guys should take hard hats, and he was right.
Well, it wasn't even the street that. By the way, there was like a downed tree on our street, but it was behind our house.
Well,
And
yeah, but
I said, Tim, let's go stand in the middle of the backyard. There's no trees there, and we can just like listen. Because trees are popping left and right. It was crazy.
left and right.
And you said, no, I don't want to get hit by a branch. And I said, Tim, we're going to walk under the tree for a second. A branch isn't going to hit you. And sure enough, a branch fell off this old, rotted out weeping willow tree, landed right on your back.
Well, I mean,
It was
I was right.
It was seriously one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
That storm was incredible.
You didn't have school for like 14 days, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything froze. It was outrageous.
Forget how long Worcester State was closed.
It had
I
to
was
be
on break.
at least a week, winter break.
Yeah, it was winter break. I didn't miss any classes. Lame. All right. Well, that was a nice trip down memory lane. We just had a storm this past weekend, so it was topical.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Had to go to work.
Neither was I.
You know?
I have this nice snowblower, Tim, and the snow was so heavy that it straight up would get to a point where it would just the snowblower would stop.
Yeah, that happened to me a few times when I got home. You really just got to eat at it,
Well,
take little bites.
true, until you get to how do you start it? You got to start it somehow.
Well, you got to stick your hand in there, and you got to be careful because you will lose a finger.
Oh, mine has a little probe, and I knocked the snow.
Mine has a probe too. Griffin uses it as a shovel, so it's somewhere in the yard.
And it's about 1.5 to 2 inches wide. Like, it's not a good shovel. You should tell him, hey, bud, this like a sand shovel would be better.
He didn't want to hear it.
All right.
So
well,
I'll find that in the spring.
Yeah. So, Tim, I came into this all hot and bothered about the Celtics, but
I was a little sweaty.
You added some Patriots stuff, and could you fix your camera? I'm looking at half your face here.
It's hard. It's laying up against the very hungry caterpillar spin and seek and a box of shoes.
Okay, there you go. That's good. That's a good angle of you. So you added some Patriots stuff because I didn't think there were too much going on, but you wanted to have a little debate here of, do we want to see the Patriots take a wide receiver one, or are you saying a wide receiver one or a tackle? Is that in the draft or is that in free agency? Or are you saying, what do you think
draft,
is more
like first pick, not like a number one wide receiver, but like, who do you want
their first round pick
number
to be?
Number 14,
a tackle.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no reason to not go after that. That's like a need. So there's the philosophy of, when you're drafting, if you're at 14, do you just take the best player or do you take the need? Well, if you can get a really good tackle, then you've done both those things.
And Skornaski has fallen a little bit. He's now the number 2 tackle to the guy from Ohio State.
Wasn't it Skoronski?
Skoronski, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we're closer to the draft.
Hopefully when they say it.
The kicker is it's the wide receiver they're projected to take.
Yeah.
Is Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State.
Yeah, and he had a good combine.
And he was hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he led the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns when Olave and who was the guy from the Jets or the Saints?
from the Saints.
Yeah, they were both on the same team, the Jets wide receiver and the Saints wide receiver, the rookies. Anyway, out of the three of them, he was the best one as a junior.
Uh-huh. Wait,
Has
Olave is on the Saints.
Yeah, so Garrett Wilson.
Oh, I didn't know where the hell you're going with that. But
So
anyways,
all three of them were on the same Ohio State team,
yeah.
and Najigba was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
He is projected to be the number 14 pick to the Patriots
Yeah,
after the combine.
I bet I'll go even higher after if he has a good combine and has like one good interview.
Yeah, but he had a shitty last year.
Well, was it shitty or was Marvin Harrison Jr. just better?
He was hurt, and Marvin Harrison Jr. was better, but I'm still all for a tackle.
Yeah.
Broderick Jones, Skornansky, whatever you want to call him.
I just also think like if you got an explosive wide receiver, I'm not against that at all. That'd be great. I'd love to see it. But if you got a turnstile at right tackle, Mac Jones doesn't have time to throw.
Yeah.
So it seemed like I read an athletic article by Chris Graff, and he said the Patriots feel good about their line. They feel good about the guards and center, and Trent Brown's Trent Brown. If he's healthy, he can. If they swapped
If
him,
he's playing right tackle,
regardless, there's thinking we're a tackle short, which is true. They're a tackle short. The Patriots won a Super Bowl with Trent Brown at left tackle.
Yeah. 5 years ago.
Just saying, they did.
He can't play left tackle anymore. He's too old. You got to move him to right tackle. We talked about this.
He's 29. He's not that old.
Well, Tim, he plays like he's old as dog shit.
You're a crickety-ass 31-year-old.
Yeah, he can't play left tackle. We watched it for 17 games. He was hurt for 3 of them. He can't play left tackle.
Right, write a letter to your congressman because he's playing tackle. He's playing left tackle.
No, he's not. He's playing right tackle. They're drafting Broderick Jones, who was a fucking monster in the combine. I watched a lot of the combine at work, by the way. At work, yeah. Thank you for your taxes, everybody.
Did you figure out the YouTube TV thing?
I did.
I'm really proud of you. Next thing we'll do is figure out those headphones.
The YouTube TV thing it sent 2 security codes.
Oh, yeah, to go to the second one.
Well, no, you had to do both of them because I'm in a secure facility, so it didn't trust it.
Wow. Thought it was one of the inmates.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what it thought, but had to, work through the cement,
So you also posed the question of, did you watch the combine? No. I didn't watch 1/2 a second of the combine. Even clips on Twitter, I didn't even stay for. And the reason is it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, shocking. Shocking. These guys who are going to be in the NFL next year run a fast 40. The big guys bench press a lot. What? It doesn't do anything for me.
So I wrote the combine as a joke. I watched it. And nothing matters without pads. So in the morning of Sunday, at noon, it started, and it was linemen.
Hold up. Noon is not Sunday morning.
Debatable. It started.
No, it's facts. It's not debatable.
And we watched a bunch of linemen run the 40 without pads.
Mm-hmm.
And they're big as shit. And they're fast. That'd be a scary person. But what's the point of a lineman running? That's impressive. He can run a 4.9. That's way faster than me. I would never want to run away from that person. But it's not they don't run any drills.
No, and when is a lineman going to run at a sprint 40 yards on the field without touching someone?
straight.
straight without the intention of hitting someone. That
Yeah.
lineman is going to get passed by the wide receiver and they're going to stop.
They're also wearing what, 15 pounds worth of pads? 10.
What kind of pads are you wearing?
Well, the helmet's heavy.
I guess, yeah, if you're counting the helmet.
Well, they're wearing a fucking helmet.
No, I know, but I don't associate that with like weighing you like your shoulders down and stuff. Your neck takes care of it.
The helmet's heavy.
No, I know. The helmet is probably, yeah, I don't know. Well, they're new now. They're all,
You think they're lighter?
yeah, lighter and better at stopping concussions.
Yeah, I don't know. And then did you see Will Levis?
Nope. I don't know what position does he play?
He's the quarterback from Kentucky.
Okay.
He threw it the third fastest ever. And people were like, that's so impressive. I think he threw it 68 miles an hour, which is impressive.
No, great.
But
fantastic.
It's like he got a snap from a coach
Mm-hmm.
with no pressure and just threw it as hard as he could.
Yeah.
What is the point? What? I mean,
Tim,
I was wasting time because I was on the clock. So,
right, naturally.
like, what's
Where
the
do you
point
think I
of
do all
this?
this research for this podcast?
Yeah. But what's the point?
Tim, exactly. And that doesn't translate because Jamarcus Russell threw it from the 50-yard line on one knee and hit the goalpost or the crossbar.
Yeah. But that guy loved to study tape.
Mm-hmm. Especially the blank ones. No, I also wrote down that the draft and any form of preseason games are up there with the combine to me is just useless. You know what I do when the draft happens?
I like the draft.
I look at it, who was drafted the next day. And
you know what I wish the draft was? Just like it just happened. Not this big build-up, not this like, who are they going to take? Like, nope, just it's a 30-minute show and we're banging out 3 rounds.
And they even made a separate broadcast on ABC that's all SAP stories.
Yeah, I don't need like
I don't need to hear ABC it. A couple years ago, I remember seeing a screen grab. This kid gets fucking drafted to the NFL, and the underneath little graphic said he lost his father at 11 years old. It's like, I mean, that sucks for the guy. It's terrible. But what? How many yards did he have receiving? How many rush yards? I don't know what position he played. What was he, a lockdown corner? Whatever it was, it's like, give me that info.
Yeah.
I just, especially now, because then you go on Twitter and you're getting the pick before the draft pick shows on TV.
And the first round being its own day, like that's. But you know what? The NFL does it. Like they make a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't imagine. We're big Patriots fans. Don't miss a game.
We're football guys, Tim.
A couple football guys. I would never in my life.
Chicken wings.
If the Patriots had the number 1 pick and they were like, "Hey, they're having the draft in Manchester," I'd say,
"Is it at Snoo?"
Yeah, it's at Snoo.
Little foreshadowing: is El Rincon catering?
I don't know, but I'm not going.
No, I'm actually going to say, you know what? I don't have to leave my house, but I'm going to get all my shopping, like grocery shopping, done on Wednesday.
Yeah,
battening down the hatches.
They could have it at Carriage Town, the local restaurant I go to all the time.
Yeah,
I would still be like, name. Do you think like I could come in and get my sandwich?
Is it going to mess up my pastrami order? Is the pastrami going to be as fresh? No, yeah, it's stupid. People that go, honestly,
and dress up,
Tim,
they must be paid. They have to be paid.
They're.
Who is that fan? I've never met that fan. I'm a big fan. I love the game.
We're big fans. We love sports with a Z. But I think it means more to those people in a semi-sad way.
It has to. That's crazy.
The Patriots get eliminated. The Celtics lose. The Celtics lost to the Warriors. Perfect example. Last summer in the finals. And I was pissed and bummed, and I was like, "Fuck, man, they could have gone up 3-1." And I marinated on it for a while. I didn't easily fall asleep right after they got eliminated, but the next day I had to go to work. I had to I read stuff about it and I still thought about it for a little bit, but I think those people call out of work.
There's that many of them that they're filling these.
Yeah, Tim, you don't know anything. You don't know ball. That's what it comes down to.
I watched
Um,
I watched Bedford Londonderry state championship game today
Basketball?
at work. No, football from November.
What? Did
It was
Bedford
on
win?
YouTube. Yeah, Bedford wins
Oh,
15 to
Bulldogs.
14.
Bulldogs.
15 to 14, they kick a field goal, win the game.
Wow, good
Yeah,
defenses.
just think. So it was a big conversation. Like, how is New? So that's the D1 state champ, Bedford.
Hmm.
And obviously, I work in Massachusetts. A lot of talk about like how do you think they match up with teams from Massachusetts?
Like
You know,
Central Catholic or Everett or
yeah. And
Boston
I was like,
Latin.
they would lose by I don't know 30.
It,
And it was,
uh, it would
and
be
the kids
30
at work,
nothing in the first quarter.
they were like, you really think that? And I was like, yeah. Th-
Springfield? Springfield's a legit metropolis, not
yeah.
to mention Boston.
They were like, why do you think that? And I was like, I don't know. Every town, you just named Everett. Everett's bigger than fucking Concord.
Yeah, that's your Tim. Hey guys,
Sometimes.
thanks for listening, but yikes. You can study up on
But
it's
those
the
teams,
pool.
they looked good, but like they're not beating Everett. Like,
No. No.
but
But what
I did see a Goffstown, Goffstown.
he's gonna get a
Oh,
guess.
I think it was Goffstown Londonderry baseball game on YouTube. So that must have been a real smoke show because it's on YouTube.
Well, Goffstown, Tim, when I moved here, I found out that they're known for baseball. I was like, that's pretty sweet. First summer I was here, Goffstown, I
Little League.
believe Little League, um, represented New England in at the Little League World Series. I think they made it that far. I'm not sure. They
Yeah,
either
that
made
sounds
the championship for New England or actually won it. But
means
that
they'll
was a
be good in 10 years.
yeah, that was a good well, in 10 years they'll be in college because you play Little League at 12.
All right, they'll
Um,
be good in 6,
Tim,
5. I don't know. I don't even know how old I
do
was in
you
the
what
11th grade.
do you what are your thoughts on the rumors floating around for the Patriots to get actually my boy DeAndre Hopkins? I love this guy. I always have.
I don't know how I feel. Like obviously, if I wouldn't trade much for him.
Well, the
He's not
Athletic,
a first rounder.
no, the Athletic had an article saying it'd be their second round pick, number 46 overall.
Straight up.
That's what Chad Graff was saying he would assume would be the price. And for Brandon, I mean, it might not be this year. And then Brandon Cooks would be a third.
Brandon Cooks is not worth the third round pick.
He was he was already a Patriot and they let him go. I don't know. I guess they would entertain it, but
He also blew that Super Bowl
no, he didn't. He got knocked out.
because he did too much. He should
That
have got
didn't
down.
blow the Super Bowl. The fact
If
that Nick Foles wasn't touched once lost the Super Bowl.
he was about to have, he would have been the Super Bowl MVP.
No, he wouldn't have. Tom Brady would have. Tom
He
Brady
was
threw for over 500 yards in that Super Bowl.
he was having a great
Tom
first
Brady threw
quarter.
for 500 yards in that Super Bowl, Tim.
He was having a
Okay.
great first quarter before he got hurt, and then
Anyways,
he did a little extra and he got popped.
if they
Um,
took a tackle and then the price tag was a second round pick for DeAndre
done,
Hopkins, yeah.
done.
Hmm. Get him
I
in
would
there.
do it now and then just take a tackle. There's
They're
3 good tackles. There's no way. Trade up. They should trade up for a tackle.
Who would they trade?
I don't care. Your first and third round pick to move up 5 spots to guarantee you get Jones.
What about your first and Judon?
No.
What about
Come
your
on.
anyways, a Patriots official who
If they
asked,
trade down, I might throw up.
well, Tim, don't have a big lunch. Have something, have like a brothy soup.
I like throwing up the thick stuff.
Oh, you're a pro at it. But the Patriots said they are looking more towards a veteran than trying to get a guy in the draft.
Fine. I'm fine with them trying to get DeAndre Hopkins. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, I wonder if
I
it's
also
one.
think the offense is just going to be better.
I do too, because they have an actual play caller. We talked about this.
Did you see the stuff this past week where Belichick didn't go to the combine? Like,
Yeah,
is he
like
taking a back seat?
4 other coaches didn't.
Yeah.
McVay,
I don't care
Lure.
that he doesn't go to the combine.
No, what? That's stupid. No, why? Because it's bullshit and it doesn't matter.
Yes. I also think he is looking at it like, wow, I made a mistake by having these
Yeah.
two be assistants. Bill O'Brien's here. Well, I don't know who the player guy is. What's his name? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Klecko?
Is that the guy who got like a little more power this year? But like, let them go
Oh, on
figure
the
it out.
offensive staff.
No, in the player personnel, he got like a promotion.
I don't know who you're talking about. I bet those guys at the draft do.
Yeah, but like they can go. Like Belichick is like, you know what?
Nick
I
Caley?
that might be it.
No, didn't he get poached?
I know Nick Caley. Played football with him.
Well, you don't.
No, what was it? Nick Carolyn.
Yeah.
Tough kid.
Yeah. Nick Caley got he's on the Rams now, not him. I don't know who you're talking about, big guy. But
Yeah, but either way, it doesn't matter. Like nobody cares that Belichick doesn't go to the combine.
no. Well, that's all we got for football. It is the doldrums of the offseason because free agency doesn't start for 2 weeks. And the draft's not till April, so that's why I wasn't even going to put it on here. But we got some, that's quality content. You heard that Tim watched an old high school state championship game. So we'll take a quick break, and we just have to talk about the Celtics because stuff is happening. Tim, we're back. We're talking Celtics. I took some notes. I sat down. I kept the lights on for the game yesterday. Took some notes. Was a little excited when I saw Jalen Brunson wasn't playing, although Rob Williams, surprise, wasn't playing. Malcolm Brogdon wasn't playing. And let's start with Friday night. Loss to the Nets.
Worst
It's
loss of the season.
easily. And it's going to be something you look at if they're the 2 seed. Not to mention they have losses against the Magic too. And if they lose the 1 seed, you're gonna be like, they
lost back to back to the Magic. A home and home.
yes,
That's embarrassing.
it is. And that game against the Nets, I almost changed the channel. They were up 28. So against the Nets this season, they are 1-3. Wait, is it 1-3 or 0-3? Was that? I don't
No,
know.
they won the first. They won one of the
Yeah, they won
first
that
games
one in
of the week.
October. I didn't know if that
Two
was
of those though, Durant played on the Nets, so it's like,
whoa, I'm saying Magic. They're
oh,
1-3 against the Magic.
good young team.
No, they're not.
They're young. And they're a team.
They beat the Magic. No, they beat the. They're 1-3 against the Magic, and they are 3-1 against the Nets. They owned the Nets until they lost all their good players. It's just between that Nets loss and those Magic losses and being 0-3 against the Knicks. That's 7 losses right there between those 3 teams. And I mean, take the Nets loss out of it. 6 losses to the Magic and the Knicks. You can't get one of those.
Yeah.
6 losses in the NBA when you're a top 3 team in your conference is huge. So if you could have gone 3-3,
I mean, the Knicks are good.
No, they are. But
the Magic aren't. Like the fact that you lost 3 times to them is.
But the Celtics are also good, and you shouldn't go 0-3 against them. The Knicks, that is.
Last night's game was so frustrating.
All right, so let's go through it. Let's go through some stuff I jotted down. First thing. Does Smart not have his magic this year? I say this, I wrote this down in the first quarter. He had his smart plays in the fourth. But something just doesn't seem. Last year, he had control of the offense. He totally flipped us. We were like,
yeah,
this guy isn't it. Trade him while he has value. Then we were like, this guy's it. Turns out he was the point guard they needed. He needed the ball. And it doesn't feel that way this year.
He's shooting again.
Yeah.
Too much.
I wrote that down. He still wants to take that shot.
Like last year, the second half of last season, or probably like the third quarter, he just stopped like taking like the shot, stopped driving. Like he was dishing the ball. He was playing the offense. It now seems like he's back to the old way. And like people don't think like he had a bad game because he hit that huge 3, but they forget that he missed the 2 before it.
Yeah, he kept doing it, and I was like,
he just kept, and they kept feeding him, and he hit it. But like,
and the Knicks kept not defending him.
Yeah,
don't forget that part of it.
3 wide open threes.
Yeah,
and he hit one of them. There's a reason he was wide open.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his stats are essentially the same. Like, I was like, okay, his stats have to be different, but they're not. They're so close together. It has to, I mean, his ankle hurts. He's been in and out with hip and ankle shit all year. So maybe he just doesn't have rhythm. That can be said for the whole, like, starting 5. But
yeah, but he's been there more than, like, the whole starting 5 thing. I get it. I think they're under 200 possessions.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that stat, but
they're under 200 possessions together, like Smart, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Horford, Rob Williams, which is crazy to think.
Well, yeah, Williams barely plays.
But Smart in the offense, like he sees Tatum and Brown, and every time the game's close, Tatum and Brown start handing it off, which is so frustrating because their offense is great when they just kind of do the flow of the offense.
Yeah, the my turn, your turn thing totally fucked them. That's why they were 500.
That's what happened in the third. But that's what happened in the third quarter.
Yeah,
when the Knicks made that run, it was all right. Tatum would have it. He would force a drive or force a shot, and then Jaylen Brown took a shot at the elbow with like 15 seconds left in the shot clock, but it was probably like end of the third quarter, and Scal said that's a great shot, and I was like, that's not a good shot. Like, it was super contested. His like knees were, or his feet were up like towards his thigh. Like, it was just a bad shot. Like, they ran
you don't mean a jump shot. You mean he looked like he had like he was doing an explosion workout.
Yeah, and Scal was like, that's a good shot. And I was like, that's a terrible shot. He forced that. He dribbled from the right side of the key to the left and got to the elbow and shot it like I would shoot it. I can't get my heels that high, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the same as the end of games. Like that Philly game worked out because they had a play drawn up. When they don't have plays drawn up, that, and this goes back to like Doc Rivers and Pierce. It's like,
Yeah.
I understand the ISO thing, but run something and get the shot.
At least
It,
get somebody open.
yeah, it just
Like
seems like him.
Tatum's shot at the end of the first overtime. That
Yeah,
was nothing. That was just Tatum. Like he was kind of open, but he made a play. That wasn't a drawn up play to have any success.
yeah,
Nobody was open, and like Tatum probably should have hit that layup. I mean, he had a
yeah.
shit game. He's had a shit second half.
He The layup was tough because it seemed like he shorted it. I don't know if it was just like an angle
Yeah,
thing, but he well, obviously he shorted it, he front rimmed it, but it seemed like he didn't. I don't know if he thought he was closer or what. It was an awkward shot when he took it. I was like, that seemed like he didn't mean to do that or didn't want to do that. But
but it was a last minute screen that got him to make that,
mhm,
like to make that drive. Like it wasn't a drawn up play that was successful.
yeah. I think with Smart though, it all clicked last year when he was facilitating. I mean, there was a crazy stat last year when he had like 8 assists. They had like an incredible win percentage. That just isn't there as much this year. Also not there, Grant Williams. He was someone I said they
Can
should
we?
try and trade. He's someone that asked for $20 million.
I hate Grant Williams. I hate his face. He looks like a hippopotamus. I don't know. Not trying to be mean, but like,
No, that's not
how do you
mean. No,
how do you complain so much?
the complaining. He was a
And
rookie.
he's not good.
He was a rookie trying to crack the rotation, and he was complaining. And there were 2 points last night. One, he just let him quickly go by him, who was owning the game. He just like let him go by. He's like, oh yeah, I got help back there, but he didn't have help back there.
Nobody's back there.
And then at the very end of the game, on the final call, everyone knew what they were doing. The other four guys knew what they were doing, and they Tatum and Al Horford were screaming at Grant Williams to do something,
Do the
not do
thing.
what he was doing. Yes, do the
Yeah.
thing.
Whatever the thing they wanted him to do. I don't know. It was probably a screen, but like,
Or it was I think it was spread the floor out so Tatum could take someone one on one or get a pick into a better matchup.
but it was
And
out like,
I,
God.
I think the people like it was always a
But then he
joke.
makes that huge. But then he makes that huge offensive rebound.
I don't care.
But that saved the game. You
It
can't
didn't
say it
sa-
didn't.
it didn't
Yes,
save the
it
game. They
did.
lost.
But that it saved the game at that moment. He makes it. They miss a
Great.
shot, and then it gets tipped out. Marcus Smart hits the three. Like Grant Williams made that play, but God, I just can't stand him.
I'm just not going to buy the save the game when you lose. It extended it.
Okay, so that extended the game, but it brought it to overtime. Like that was
Yeah.
a big play. You can't say that was not a big play by
Sure.
him.
But Tim, the guy played over 50 minutes or close to 50 minutes. You're cherry picking one play.
It was a big play.
That was a gross burp right
I'm sorry.
in the middle of this
It,
conversation. All right.
it was a big
So
play.
I wrote down numbers and since Christmas. I picked Christmas because that's when I really
Lock
opened
in.
my eyes to the NBA. It's so much football going on, but football races are pretty much wrapped up. And at this point now I can be like, okay, I got 5 games here. I'm going to watch as much of this as I can. Since Christmas, 7.5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. I was actually surprised 36% from three because that's not bad. But I looked, he had 2 games where he went 4 for 6 and then 2 where he went 3 for 6. So you're going to jack up your numbers there. So then I was like, well, this isn't making my argument. I mean, 7, 5, and 2 is not good.
No.
So my argument's made. But since the All-Star break, since they've started to struggle a little bit,
No, they're struggling.
they're hitting some rough air. They're going through a patch of rough air. Since the All-Star
Turbulence.
break, he's 15% from three.
It's funny because like you watch the Knicks game, and then like a casual. I mean, I would consider myself a casual fan,
Yeah, you're casual.
but a little. You know what? I'm not going to consider myself a casual fan.
Not when it comes
Like
to the Celtics.
I'd give myself a little more. Like
Uh-huh.
somebody would watch that game and be like, Grant Williams had a good game because he hit a big three, and then he makes that play. But his defense against Quickly was embarrassing.
Okay.
And I drove home last night from work after watching it, and I listened to the end on the radio,
You're fuming.
and I was like, I fucking hate Emmanuel Quickly. I hate him. He was doing all the dancing and all this stuff.
Emmanuel
And then
quickly catches a 12-yard slant in the first quarter and has
he's
a
pointing
little
to the first.
yeah.
Yeah, he's pointing to the first down. But then driving into work this morning, I was like, he had an awesome game.
He
He
kicked the
was
shit
feeling
out of him.
like I get it. Like, but in the moment, I was like, I can't stand this guy. He
It's
keeps
the
doing
same-
the three thing.
It's
Like,
the same with I hate seeing Steph Curry do a shimmy, but like when I watch Steph Curry, I'm like, well, this guy's the fucking best.
yeah.
So
But he was just like,
he did the three thing after hitting the first shot of the game, and I was like, that was excessive. That's when I started thinking this guy does the first down sign in the first quarter.
but then he just
Then he kept
destroyed him.
Yes. Well, I wrote down last night in just like a semi-blind rage. You have Grant Williams in there because they had two big bodies in. You keep Grant Williams around and give him minutes to like bang against big guys. He loves banging the big guys. And
Loves it. Bear on bear.
The thing that bothers me is he was getting hunted. If he's Mr. Defense, if he's in there because his strength is defense, he's
getting
be
hunted by a goddamn point guard.
Yeah, but he's also 6'7". He's not 6'11". It's not like Mike Muscala. It's like you see that matchup, you're like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Can I ask you something?
Please. That's what this
Why
whole thing's about.
The fuck didn't Derek White play in the second half? His first half numbers, I want to say it was 8-6-8.
That's
8
fantastic.
points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. He didn't play.
Yeah.
Did he bang Mazzulla's wife at halftime? I know that's a big thing with the Celtics. Like, what happened? Why can't he play? Why did he not play?
I don't know, Tim. That's the next.
He was having an incredible game.
All I can say is
they have
all
to report he was hurt.
All season. If I'm rating the Celtics, I would rate them are Tatum 1, Brown 2, White 3, Brogdon 4, Horford 5, and Brogdon and Horford are both 4, 4A and 4B. Yeah. Well, first of all, there's your closers. But second of all, Derek White, regardless of the matchup, regardless of the game, has to be one of your 3 guys out there with Tatum and Brown, and then you figure it out based on matchup who the next 2 are. If it's a team that's going to go small, Smart and Horford. If it's a team that's going to go big, Williams and Horford, or Smart and Horford. Tatum's fucking 6'10".
He's 6'10".
Tatum should have guarded Randall last night. Horford in there.
Randall was nasty.
He is good.
And
he kills the Celtics.
Those reviews on him for his fouls, that was a joke. No, nothing he did was intentional. I don't understand.
No, the kick in the nuts was not intentional. I think they just look at everything to the head for that was just like a rip through, but when he hit Smart in the face, they just look at it if it's above the neck.
All right. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it slows it down. All right.
But he was nasty.
Yeah, he kills the Celtics.
That 3 he hit, I think, in the second
at the end of the third quarter. Oh.
No. He hit one in the first or second overtime, and I was just like, that's it.
Yeah. Another
But
thing that this team has had a problem with is stopping the bleeding. They can't do it.
yeah, they
They
need some
absolutely.
quick.
So like they that first of all, that's why you have Tatum and Brown. That's their job. It's like why you have a number one pitcher in baseball, or you have, Patrick Mahomes who can come out and be like, okay, well, we're getting a couple first downs at least. We're
And a field
moving the
goal.
ball.
We're
Yeah.
gonna score a point.
Yes. And then in baseball, it's like we've lost 2 games in a row. This is the last game of an away stand, like on the road. Then we go home, and your number one pitcher comes out and throws 7 innings of 1 run. That's like
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown need to do that. Yesterday, the Celtics fight back and tie the game in the fourth quarter, and Thibodeau calls a timeout, and the Knicks instantly go on a 7-0 run. That can't happen. They came out, quickly scored a basket. That's a drawn up play. Fine. That's going to happen. That's specifically why you called the timeout. But then getting nothing on offense for 2 straight possessions and a quickly basket and a Randall 3, it just can't happen.
I don't think they're good enough under pressure. And I think that leads to the whole because they had a 10-point lead at one point or 12. What they have going
Yeah.
into half? 12?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Like you should have come out of and they came out in the second half shooting the lights out. And when teams go on a run, like I feel when they feel the pressure, that's when it goes back to, all right, I'm going to take mine. Now you take yours. I'm going to take mine. You take yours.
It's a perfect example of when they need Derek White, because he'll just
Make a play.
he'll run his funny little way that he runs, like Joel Goulet. I'll stand by their doppelgangers in the way they play basketball. And he just barrels into people in the paint, does a weird layup, gets a foul, or he at least plays with the pace to initiate the offense and gets someone open. And a lot of times it's he does the passing and keeps moving and gets himself an open 3.
Because when Smart is in there, Smart thinks he's one of Brown and Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get mine too." And now it's just 3 1-on-ones or 3 jump shooters. Like
The Smart crunch time the shots are there's at one point the crowd booed him. Did you hear on the I don't know if you were driving home at that point, but he took a shot and Mike Gorman said crowd is not happy with that shot selection. And neither was the guy sitting at home in New Hampshire on his couch.
no, I was probably driving or walking home or walking out to the car.
Walking home.
Yeah, the rain.
And then the last thing we can touch on is I sent a basketball group chat I'm in a text that said against the Nets that just said, this is a game they miss Ime Udoka. Missoula's showing some growing pains, and if we want to talk about stopping the bleeding, timeouts can stop the bleeding. That's why they've always been there.
Did you see? So it was like there was 2:07 left in the fourth quarter, right when Smart got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he should have put White back in the game because
then you have that excuse.
You have it. It's built in.
Yeah.
Just put him in the fucking game.
Yeah.
Anyway, Smart's still rolling around on the ground. He got hit in the nuts. I mean, I bet that hurt a lot.
Yeah. Yep. He was holding his hip, and then you're like, oh, that was a bad shot. It's hurting everywhere.
That's everywhere. You don't even know where your nuts are at that point. They're in your stomach. One's up in your eye. Like,
God.
But I was like, oh, Derek White's coming in. Nope. And then they went out on the court, and the TNT or CBS announcers were like,
ESPN.
Yeah, if he doesn't, ESPN, we're like, if he doesn't use a timeout in the next 7 seconds that he loses it. Like he loses it.
Just take a timeout. Everyone gets a breath.
But the assistant coach must have whispered in his ear, like, hey, you're going to lose that third timeout if you don't use it. And that's why he called it. He wasn't not going to call that timeout.
I get letting guys play through it. Let them do that in the first quarter or the second. Like, figure it out.
That's not the time.
No.
Marcus Smart was still on the ground.
Yeah.
He wasn't subbing him out, God forbid.
Between the not playing White and then I mean, the end of the game, he waited, let him dribble the ball up. Grant didn't know the play. They had to burn the timeout. And then the Knicks had a foul to give, which they smartly took after they ran the action. And then Tatum probably switched up. He was probably going to the hoop. He loves to go to the hoop and dunk on somebody's ass. Look at the video
Yeah.
of what he did to Jared Allen on the Never Words podcast Instagram feed. _never_words. But I have
Look
a
at
post on there, and it was live national television, Tim, and he murdered Jared Allen. We all witnessed it.
Yeah, he's not good.
It's concerning, and hopefully there's a philosophy change. Well, you're going to shorten your bench in the playoffs, thankfully.
Cool. Is Derek White going to come out?
Well, hopefully that's the change. That's a philosophy change they have.
I can't understand why Derek White didn't play in the second half.
I am
like
with
maybe
you there 100%.
Did he play in a little in the third quarter? I don't even remember seeing him.
He got minutes in the second half, but then they just settled on that.
In the fourth quarter, he did not play when it mattered.
Tim, I agree with you. He should have played. But all right, Timmy. Let's change the subject here. Let's feel a little better. Let's talk some Mexican food. Do you wanna talk about your segment here?
Yeah. All right.
It's Stop just very burping.
What do you want me to do?
Not drink while we're doing the podcast.
Fucking seltzers.
Do they have alcohol in them?
Yeah.
So what? You're an idiot.
So this week's segment, we're gonna do our top 5 Mexican foods. I'll start.
Okay.
Number 5, chori pollo. It's a chicken breast cut in the middle,
butterfly,
pan fried. They put chorizo and queso on it, and they serve it with rice and beans, and it's incredible.
I've never had it. That sounds delicious. And again, we should get some sort of like the American Heart Society to sponsor this segment. Jesus Christ. My number 5 is huevos rancheros. I'm gonna hit you with a breakfast option first.
Damn, I didn't even do breakfast. Chilaquiles. God.
I love it, and I like to make it at home sometimes. And every time I make it or have it, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm not. I know I'm not wrong.
That place in Portland, phenomenal.
What place in Portland?
Front Room. We went there together.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I don't remember what I had. I know I had 2 Bloody Marys. Jamie also had 5. He tried to keep up with you having 5 mimosas. What's your number 4?
Chili Colorado. It's the best stewed meat in the business.
I was wondering about that. Is that Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just what did you think it was?
Well, no, I'm just saying Colorado doesn't seem very. I'd like to know the Spanish words for it.
Yeah, it's Mexican and it's the best. We made it one time in Clinton.
Oh, it was good.
The socks were blown off of everybody.
I don't have. All right, my number 4 isn't this, but I wanted to shout out refried beans because I love them.
Oh, I wasn't doing sides.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Refried beans are the balls. What you're refried over black bean?
I love them both. They both have their strengths, but yes, refried over black bean.
I agree.
I made some in a crock pot one time. Phenomenal. Fish tacos, dealer's choice on how you're going to prepare my fish.
Interesting.
Number 4.
Interesting. I didn't. Okay.
I had fish tacos on a beach, like a beach bar restaurant in Cozumel. And you seriously could have just had fish monsters come out of the ocean and pull me away after I ate them. I would have been happy. That's it. That's all I need.
And those fish monsters are rough.
Oh, man. I probably had a soul with it, too. Mexican beers. I fucking love Mexican beer.
Oh, yeah. You ever had a Pacifico?
Yeah. El Rincon. All the time. That's what I get there.
Love it.
Right, what's your 3?
I went with burrito.
Mm-hmm. You don't have a specific. You just mean the whole family.
Everything.
Meat
That's
and
why I'm a little
cheese
confused by
and beans.
your fish taco. That was very direct.
Oh, Tim, I'm gonna get even more direct. So hold on to your pants.
But like burritos are their lunch, their breakfast, and their dinner. You smother them in something, that's a dinner.
Don't, Tim. A burrito unsmothered is also dinner. They're fucking huge, and
No,
they're full of meat, cheese, and beans.
no. There's lunch burritos, there's dinner burritos.
Ah, God. I'm gonna call Uncle Tony after this and ask if he can recommend a cardiologist. My number three, this is where you might have some sideways glances at me, some looks. Just fresh tortillas.
I'm not judging that.
Just if you have a real tortilla, and obviously it's holding other foods. You can build
Or it's
something,
not.
or it's not. They're so good. It is so fucking good.
So when Kate was in San Diego, there's a place called Old Town, and it's just like a Old Town Mexico.
New
And
development.
it is not. Um, and it's just old women in front of these restaurants
Oh
just
yes.
making tortillas, and they are
Mm.
so good. That's where I learned about chili Colorado.
It's three ingredients.
Yeah, but these women, the fourth one is just love
Yeah,
or
it
sweat,
is.
whatever it is
It's
they're doing
love.
in there. They are incredible, and it's just and so you watch them cook them. You go in the restaurant, you order your food, and then you look over your shoulder, and it's just a lady like piling them on a plate, and then
Mm.
the server brings them over to you, and you're like,
Nothing's
this
better
is
than this.
awesome.
I'd eat this
No,
whole thing, this whole stack.
yeah,
Give me a short
and they
stack.
don't make the little baby ones like you get it.
No.
No, these are hammers. These are like
Was it on a plancha or was it on like the domed thing?
no, it's on a plancha.
Oh. Have you ever seen them on the domed thing? Like
No,
I've only seen it on cooking shows on TV. It's just like this really hot dome thing and they throw it over it and it cooks in like 8 seconds and they take it off. Looks so
no.
good.
I mean, this is like it could have been a legitimate Mexican stone they were cooking it on,
I
not
don't
like an
know. I
actual
don't
like.
know the stones of Mexico. I only know granite.
You're in the business?
No, yeah, I'm in the granite state though.
Sure,
All right,
sure.
what's your two?
My two could have been number one,
Okay, fair.
but my number one, like
Ooh, ooh,
I
just got to
couldn't
chill. Sorry, everyone on YouTube. Ooh.
I couldn't not put my number one carnitas. I could eat it 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it is the best way to eat pork,
Mm-hmm.
and I eat a lot of pork in my
You
life,
do. You do. Again, yeah. Again, cardiology.
but it's just so good. I'll any restaurant I go to Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting with that.
What's your carnitas situation?
Yeah, that's where I'm starting.
Mm-hmm. All right, my number two, guacamole. And put in parentheses salsa. If you're chips, guac, salsa,
I just don't. I feel like we're not talking on the same level here. You're doing a bunch of sides.
Tim. Well, no, I did one side. Oh, I did tortillas. Um, Tim, the thing is do you know how like if you get a puppy and
Never got one.
well, you should. You get a puppy and you have to feed them, but don't let them get into the food because a puppy will eat themselves to death. They can't stop themselves. That's me with chip salsa and guac. Like,
I'm gonna
luckily
be
it
honest.
runs.
I've been to a Chili's with you.
Yeah,
You put down some salsa.
I'm telling you, Tim. I
Well,
like.
everybody loves the table salsa at Mexican
Thankfully,
restaurants.
it's a not. It has an end. Because if it didn't, I physically could. I would eat chips and
It
salsa
doesn't
and
have an end.
guacamole until I threw up.
It doesn't have an end. You have to ask for a second bag of chips.
Oh, Chili skimps on their chips. That's the only demerit about
Chili's is
Chili's.
so good. I
I
wish we were sponsored by Chili's.
someday, Tim, if we can get some people to listen to this, they'll be our main sponsor. But listen, I rarely frequent a chain restaurant, but I stand by Chili's.
I don't go to chains, but if I'm in the neighborhood of a Chili's, I'm
You're
done.
thinking about it. Well, it's eating good in the neighborhood, Tim. Man,
I've never eaten their ribs, baby back ribs.
no, no.
You get the chips and salsa, and you get the
Then you get in a
enchiladas.
then you get in a
That's it.
you get in a little Tex-Mex mood, you
Yeah,
know?
that's all you
Um,
get. You get the enchiladas. I don't.
yeah, God. Between 2014 and
Mother of shit! I didn't put enchiladas on my list.
oh, Tim, this is your own fault that you come up with the stuff.
We need a top 10. We're gonna have
No,
to start.
no, we're
All
not
right, top
stretching
7.
it. No. All right. Tim, that's the beauty of a top five is like these are it.
I would take burritos out for
Okay.
enchiladas.
Okay.
I'm
Would you
sorry.
slide it
I'm
in there
sorry,
or would you
world.
put enchiladas at five and bump everyone else down?
No, I'd put them right in 3.
Okay.
Fucking love enchiladas.
All right. And what's your number one?
Tacos. The other day, Tom, I ate
White people tacos?
9 Old El Paso tacos.
Tim. I you legit need an intervention.
It was unnerving.
Uh, I'm
Griffin was worried.
I'm
And
sure he
he's a
was.
child. He
He
said,
was
"Dad, you're still eating those tacos." And I said, "Yeah." But
well,
they're just like fish. Have you ever had a fish stick taco?
no.
It's like North Brookfield meets Mexico. It is. It's the greatest thing I've ever come across in my life.
Oh
You
my
fry up a
God.
couple fish sticks. You toss them in some tortillas. Throw a little green salsa on there,
Chili
and then
verde.
some sour.
Come on,
Yeah,
this is
chili
a
verde, and then some sour cream. It will blow your mind.
hold the sour cream. But
I used to be a hold your sour cream guy myself, but now these tacos, I don't even know what to say.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I will never eat a frozen fish stick taco, the old El Paso taco. That will never be consumed by me
You
unless
won't eat an old El Paso taco?
not with a fish stick in it.
No, it's not. What? No,
I'll eat white
it's
people
just
tacos.
it's just in a taco. You fry
Um,
a fish stick and you put it in a tortilla.
I'm I'm not into a fish stick. If you made real fried fish,
No, you're losing it. They're phenomenal.
all right. Well, I'm gonna do my number one, and it's more specific than yours. It is carnitas tacos specifically.
Mm, yeah, I
But
just saw a new recipe for carnitas. I can't wait to try it.
Tim, you have to come over and have my recipe for carnitas that I found. It's better than yours. 3 hours to cook, Tim. 3 hours soaking in juices.
Mm.
But this is where I'll fight you on it. If I'm getting carnitas tacos, I want fresh tortillas. I want cilantro, lime, and onion. That's it.
No, nobody's fighting you on that. You know how Reyes used to make his tacos?
No,
That's it.
I never ate his tacos. I'd love
That's
to.
it.
Invite him to your house and have him make tacos.
No, but that's it. That's all true Mexican. Like I love old El Paso tacos. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
we know. You just ate 9 of them.
But traditional Mexican tacos are 100 times better.
Yeah, uh, Tim, 100's too low, and
Well,
that's the
I just
highest
didn't
you
know
can
how.
get.
I didn't know. I didn't want to say 200 because the listeners would stop listening.
Right. Yeah, I get
You
it.
need to be realistic.
Tim, it's
But the original, he would do this thing. He would toast a tortilla on the grill,
hmm
and then he would just put a piece of steak, lime, cilantro, onion, and he would just hand it to you.
yeah. Can can he move into your development? Like, can you just like,
No, he's a big Texas guy.
well, you can put a Texas flag in the middle of your cul-de-sac.
Yeah, maybe maybe that will
Because
maybe that will
I would love, that's a grill I want to stand around
yeah.
and
And
drink
then
14 Pacificos.
he would also make those little jalapeno thing. I mean, everything that came off that grill.
Oh, Timmy's mouth surprise.
Yeah.
All right, Tim.
Even he would do it with the chicken. I don't know, man. Never did
Tim,
it with pork though.
do
I
you know
wonder if you
what?
can put a pork chop in a taco.
Tim, why would you do any other type of pork in a taco other than carnitas?
Could be fun.
Tim. This
I'm gonna look into it.
segment was brought to you by the American Heart Association, and all the money they're going to make off of Tim someday, and Reyes' grill. I want to stand around that grill. So, Tim, I will talk to you next week, and you have a good day.
All right, bye.